Well, good evening. God bless everyone. Good morning, wherever you may be viewing from. Good afternoon. Thank you for chiming in to another great edition, anointed edition of Reliable Sources. I'm your host, Dr. Milton Woods. And we got my co-host here, my
Hey.
sidekick, sidekick, cool dude, whatever. Uh, T Dog,
Yeah,
go on and greet the people,
yeah,
T.
everyone, how you doing? Thank y'all for joining. Today's topic is the process.
Mm.
Me and Bishop was telling me about that. So we have a great topic for you today. So also right quick as well. Uh, I know Bishop said it on Sunday. We just want to, from here, from the house, we want to thank everybody for Holy Convocation. Had a really good turnout.
Yes.
The last live stream we did for the last night had over, it's like 1,537 views altogether. So, guys, thank y'all so much.
Yes.
So much.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome.
Very, very appreciative to that. And on that note, listen, as you're chiming in, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Keep the comments coming, keep the views coming. We're so grateful, and we're so I can't express the gratitude that we have from your participation. So come on in. As we often say, when you share, it proves you care. And if you care, you're going to share. And again, you that are watching from YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. I was just thinking how in life, our life goes through seasons. In the Bible, in Ecclesiastes, there's a scripture, Ecclesiastes 3 and 1 says, there's a season and a time for every purpose under the heaven. And one of the things that I notice about us, we can know things, but we don't give things the attention that it deserves. Like for instance, you can go into a certain school district and it say it's a drug-free district, but
Mhm.
they're really letting you know that there are no drugs allowed, no drugs in the area, etc. But we're just right through and not paying attention. And sometimes, unfortunately, we do all kind of information like that, even in the Bible. We'll read it, but we don't give it the attention that it deserves. For example, when the Lord says, "There's a season and a time for every purpose under the heaven." That means that our life go through seasons, and sometimes we're not aware that we're going through a season, and so we don't make the adjustment. I play golf. When I first started playing golf, I don't know, I was probably in my mid 40s, 30 years ago, close to it. And so I had a faster swing. And every 5 years, I would have to make an adjustment, slower, faster, change the way that I adjust the ball, that I stand over it, because the seasons in my life and my body changed, weight changed. And so I was aware enough, sometime even to get a swing coach to help me make the adjustments to the season, that particular season of my golf game. So it's like that in life. Our life go through seasons. And yesterday, I briefly talked about Moses, how that his life was set in three sets of 40s, or three different seasons. 40 years in Egypt, 40 years in the wilderness of Midian, and 40 years in the wilderness of Sinai. And so, with that said and done, uh, um, um, our life during each season, there's a process. And that's the word we want to deal with today. There's a process that we go through, and sometimes we're blind to this season of our life, and if I'm blind to the season, I'm blind through the process. And so I don't know necessarily how to deal with what's set before me. So, purposely, with the help from you guys, and with the help of the Lord, let's get wiser, let's get smarter, and we can get some information and bring some enlightenment to what we are dealing with. So again, thank everybody for chiming in. We appreciate it. keep coming in. We want to dive right into it, and I want you all. We'll start with you, T, and I want you all to give me when you hear process. What do you think about? Because two words that we're hearing a lot nowadays is reset. You're gonna keep hearing that, and process, and we're gonna even be dealing with reset. We may even talk about it a little bit today. A lot of people confuse reset with reinventing. Sometimes people figure I need to reinvent myself. And so they'll go through all of these unnecessary things to reinvent themselves versus reset, which simply means, I'm just hitting this almost like a refresh button. I'm starting with this particular phase of my life or this situation. I'm starting it over instead of just, totally trying to make me over again, make me a different person. But anyway, T, what when you hear the word process, what do you think about?
I think about a process is learning patience, because sometimes not everything gonna work right away.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna take further steps for you to get I won't say practice made perfect, but to help find your mode or find your groove or anything.
Okay, yeah, definitely patience, and you need understanding, as well. But you that are viewing, give me when you think of the word process. What do you think about? What do you think I need to do or not do, or what does process mean to you? Let me know while we're moving forward, and then how do I deal with this reset thing? So why you're getting that together, I'm just gonna run a couple things by you. And again, we want to know when you hear the word process, what do you think about? I know I used to watch my dad. He and my mom. I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 years old. They would buy a whole hog, and they would use all of the whole hog. My mom would make homemade hog head cheese. In the store, they call it souse meat, and she would make some spicy and some wasn't so spicy. They would make all kind of stuff out of the hog. But what I really remember, my dad had one of these old manual sausage makers. And when you eat sausage, I hope I don't turn any of you all off. When you eating sausage, all you're eating, all you're doing is eating all of the leftover of the hog. So when you call yourself being neat and nice, my dad had this machine. It was a little machine about this tall, and you would put meat in it, and then it had a handle on the end. He put all the different pieces of the hog in there, and he'd grind it.
It was like a meat grinder.
Yeah, something like a meat grinder.
Okay.
Yeah, and they would put spice in it. Some would be real spicy, and some wouldn't be. But it was really all of the parts of the hog that went in there. That was a process to make the sausage, and they do it today, but it's just more modernized. The technology is different, but it's all the parts of the hog that's processed, and we eat the sausage. But anyway, all right, look like we got some comments
Yes,
coming
we
in.
got one for Sister Time. She says, "When I hear the word process, my thoughts is being prepared for the process of being taken through something to build you to better. Sorry, to better you for what's coming or for your purpose."
Wow, that is good, Tanya. That is really good. Say going through something to build you to better you for what's coming for your purpose. That's great. I love that. And it's amazing how I got my own definitions of purpose, but that is phenomenal. Because if we can look at what I'm dealing with or what I'm going through or this process that's going to make me better or is preparing me for something that's coming to make me better or make my life better, enhance my life, however you want to look at it. I think that it takes some of the sting out of the process, because it can be pretty painful. It can be pretty trying. And but if we can focus on, well, look what's going to happen when I go through this process. Look what I'm going to obtain. Look what I'm going to gain. Look how I'm going to be better. Thank you for that. Anything you want to add to that, T?
So I got this is a question. Do you think people fear the word process because they're not ready to go through like the works, the hardship, the setbacks?
It's a good question. I don't. I don't. I don't think they fear the word process. I think they fear for what's coming against them, or what they got to go through, and they're not really paying attention or noticing that it's a process. It's just something I got to deal with. And so I don't want to have to deal with that. I don't want to have to deal with her. I want to deal with them. I don't want to have to deal with it. But yeah. So I think just going through it, can be pretty tough. And most people, they are either going into a process, they're in a process, on their way out of a process. All of us are at one of the three phases of life. You're going through it. You already have you're going into it. You're already in it, or you're coming out of it. So that's good stuff. All right, what else we got?
We got here from Sister Marcinda. She says process is doing something with the steps of the involvement.
Yeah, it's another good one. You're involved whether you want to or not. And I like the word that she used, which is steps. Maybe to you that are just chiming in, we're dealing with the word process. Tell us when you hear the word process, what does it mean to you? And I see where Tanya responded by saying, yes, it can be very difficult and painful. Yeah, and I think that's what makes some people stop or quit or give up, because of the process. And I'm gonna tell you another thing that made people stop or give up during the process. Number one, they don't acknowledge that it's a process that they're going through, and it becomes painful and it becomes difficult. And by them not knowing, they're like, I ain't going through this, and they just quit. And they quit, and you're never gonna obtain the things that you want to obtain in life if you don't go through the process. Because if I don't know that it's a process that I'm going through, or something that I gotta go through. Uh, for example, dear hearts, we're going to read Tanya, and I saw some more comments.
Yeah.
We're going to read that, but I want you to keep this in mind. In the 4th chapter of the Gospel according to John, the Bible says Jesus must need go through Samaria. I mean, if it had just said he need to go or he must go, it said he must needs. Now you can tie it into ancient English lingo or however you want to do it. But the bottom line, it was somewhere he had to go through, and it was for a purpose. And sometimes we got to go through stuff, it's for a purpose. And what we don't put enough emphasis on in that scripture is that Jesus could have been killed. He could have been destroyed. Now I know he's the Lord and he wouldn't, but I'm just telling you the mindset of the people was to kill him. That's why the woman said, "How dare you ask me a question? What are you doing talking to me? What are you doing on my property?" But sometimes the process can be dangerous or seem dangerous, but definitely painful. All right, what else we got here?
So it comes with us saying you sometimes have to process information that
Yeah.
people are talking with you about you, and many times it's not worth the conversation to keep processing.
That is very good, daughter. I love it. That is so powerful. I even had in my notes over here, um, let's be resolution driven, or solution driven. But sometimes I don't even need a solution. It's like a lot of times we're seeking for answers. You don't even need an answer. But you, like she said, you have to weigh that out and see where do you fall at in that particular category. Thank you. Good stuff. All right, what else we got?
We have from Stephanie. She has going through the process means to me that I am moving forward
Yep.
by stages and levels. At each level, I am getting what I need to
Yeah.
be better than what I was before until I attain Ultimate goal.
Man, y'all are on fire tonight. As they say, you're hot as fish grease. Very, very, very well stated. Nothing need to be added or taken away from that. That's really good. But the key is we're trying to obtain a goal. You're trying to move from one place to another. All you gotta do is look at our country. I would say the world, but you can focus on our country.
Mhm.
Look at the changes that we have made, and most of them were good, but it was a process to make the changes that we did, and so most of them are great, which at one point made us the greatest country in the world. We're no longer that. Still a great country, but we're not. I don't know about the greatest in the world now. All right, what else we got, T?
We have from Sister Tanya. She says, I agree with Bishop. It's not so much as the fear of the process, it's knowing why you're
Right.
going through and why you're being challenged, why you're hurting, why people are coming against you, why you have to go through what you're going through when you don't understand that there is a process, even to get to your process. There's a process,
Yep.
sorry, there's a purpose
Yep.
for your process. So when you understand that this is what I must go through to get where I need to be, it makes me somewhat easy to handle what you have to hold on 1 second because the thing cut her off, but I got it right here. You have to go to through, but when you don't know what you're what so that you're being built for your purpose, it's going to always be is going to be will.
Yeah.
It's me. You say you want to always feel like I don't deserve this. But when we think about what Jesus went through in order for us to be here, that was the process that he had to go through for our purpose being here.
That's a powerful statement. Thank you so much. Spot on. Thank you so much for that, Tanya. And again, when you're blind to it, you don't know it and you wiggle, you want out. Why is this happening to me? Everything that her and my son just said. Why is this happening to me? Why they picking on me? Why they talking about me? And as I so often say, and I think a lot of people don't give enough attention to this statement, you don't know who you are until you go through something. You don't know what you can take until pressure is applied to you. And a lot of times, I think we give more attention to the outside noises, which we got to learn how to monitor and shut out. We give more attention to that, and we make decisions made on what the outside is going to think and say about us instead of being decision driven according to the purpose or what we're in and what we're going through in order to go to, which is we got to know that I'm going through this process. All right. What else? Y'all are good, man. Y'all are on fire tonight. What else we got,
We
T?
have from cousin Keisha. She says, "Process is when you're being prepared for your next phase of your life. It's not easy. A lot of times, people lose faith and even give up while
Yep.
process. So while in the process, you said before, Bishop,
Yep.
is delivering you while you're in it, and will lead you to your purpose.
Oh, go ahead, T.
Because I think a lot of people don't. Again, I hear y'all saying that's a lot of good stuff everybody's saying.
Yeah.
I think like a lot of people don't, like say, don't see that they're in the process. It's like why I'm not getting what I'm getting? Why not? I deserve this and that others. And like I feel like the more you complain about it, you lose sight of what you want to do. I mean, have. I mean, yeah, certain things will be a setback. Have your moment, then just try to pick yourself back up.
Yeah.
And that's why also I think people it's hard to pick themselves back up when they hit that, when they feel like they fail.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. And I'm stuck here
Mm-hmm.
on this statement. Um, if I don't know that I'm going through this process,
Mm-hmm.
which we know is a series of steps. Somebody mentioned it earlier, or a series of actions to get me to this particular goal or purpose, as Tanya has alluded to several times. If I don't know that,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm almost I'm shadow boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Paul called it I'm beating in the air because I don't realize that God is allowing me to go through this phase of my life because I got to be prepared for what he's going to give me. I got to be prepared for what's coming against me. But if I do not allow myself uh, 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 to recognize, that's the word I'm looking for, to recognize that, hey, this is another phase of my life. You know, every step has a phase. Every experience that we've had in our life, every phase is for our good. That's why the Bible say all things work together for our good. We love the Lord and call according to His purpose. But now here's the point, and I need y'all to answer this for me. You as well, T. How can I recognize that this process is for my good? How can I recognize they're not just picking on me? They just laid me off this job. Unfortunately, some people, one of the spouses just walk off, don't want to be in it anymore. I know pastors that have just shut down their church. They're not pastoring anymore. Saved, but they're not pastoring anymore. I know one, he was pastoring for 21 years and he gave up. So how do because again, Tanya and I both said it. Sometimes the process is painful and it's hard. But I think, like you said, T, if I recognize, I think Marcinda said it too. If I recognize that this is part of the plan that God has for my life, I can deal with it better, even though it's painful and hard. But if I don't recognize it, it's easy for me to give up. So, how can I acknowledge or recognize that what I'm dealing with right now is part of the plan or part of the process? Come on, y'all, talk to me. You too,
We
T.
got Marcel said the process is to advance or go on, especially after stopping many times.
Totally agree with you. And you're spot on and amen. But I want to know, how can I tell that I'm this process is right for me? I'm on the right road. I'm on the right path. How can I tell? Because many people give up because they don't know. They don't know that the life is not always easy. And so when it gets hard, what can I do mentally, emotionally, spiritually? What can I do to give me a boost to encourage me to go on, even when I don't know I'm on the right path or this is the best for me? I need some input from you.
Before I reach to the time is what I think it is. How you know? I wish I could remember his name in the Bible. What God let the devil mess with it. It's not Peter. What's his
With
name?
Joe?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
I feel like he was going through a process
Absolutely.
where he lost literally everything,
Right.
and he was just trying. And he was trying so hard to get Joe just to curse God, just to blame God. And I feel like I really believe. Correct me if I misstep here. I think he believed he was in some type of trial, some type of process to make him better, to make him a better man, a stronger believer in God, because he never not one time cursed God, not.
Right.
And I believe I think this also I had a friend of mine called me and was talk. I was calling talk about a totally different subject, and he was telling me how bad the job was treating him, and he wanted to quit so bad.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of times I think people talk to me because they want that they need somebody reassurance, and I'm telling them I was like, hey man, just a try, just a process for you. It's a trial. I was like, don't give up, don't quit. I said I help where I can at, but don't give. I think you got. And also depends like who you have in your circle who will help
Very
pick,
important.
pick you back up and pray and be prayerful with you just to keep you going. Because he said, I mean, right now, yeah, definitely now, it's definitely not easy.
Yeah, right. And that again, that's the thing that make us throw in the towel, so to speak.
Yeah.
But in Job's case, he was confused.
Mhm.
Uh, 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 and he didn't know what was going on. And that happens to us sometimes. We're confused. Sometimes we don't know that the thing that we're going through is going to make us better.
Mhm.
And on that note, sometimes people get bitter instead of better
Yeah.
because they don't know that what they're going through is to make them better. And you gotta have what they call interpersonal skills when it comes to people.
Yeah.
You gotta know how to deal with people. You gotta know when some things is worth addressing,
Mm-hmm.
and when some things are not worth addressing. You gotta know when some stuff is worth dealing with. Excuse me, when some things are not. It's not worth the time of day. So anyway, let's see. What do we got here?
So Sister Tanya comes with a saying.
Did we get all the other comments?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
What she says here, she said, when you don't know or understand that you are being prepared for your purpose, maybe you need to check your relationships with God because God will visit you in your process if you are in touch with Him.
Very good point. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you. Because some people they don't realize, and sometimes the intensity of the process. Unfortunately, people call on everybody but God.
Yep.
But that goes back to what you said. That's why you got your circle. Got to be tight and right.
Yeah, real tight.
Yeah.
Real tight.
All right. What else we got?
We have from Stephanie, she comes with a saying, learning to trust God, especially when things are hard and going tough. Keeping our focus on God and not our circumstances to help us stay on the path that God laid before us.
Read that again.
Learning to trust God, especially when things are hard and going is tough. Keeping our focus on God and not our circumstances helps us stay on the path that God has laid out before us.
Beginning of that is powerful. You was going to comment on that?
Because I think about
I was just thinking the beginning when she said learning to
yeah,
trust
but
God.
because I think the first of it is definitely learning
Yeah.
that you're in the process.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a praying record because again, like you said, you got to let's say also keeping trusting God as well.
Right.
So I really believe I not this. I believe what she's saying is true because if you're not learning it and you're not trusting God, I believe the process will get harder as long as you like I say, as long as you keep God and keep and have a good group of people around you, whether it's adults, parents, or anybody who you trust can help you keep there. It's going to be an easier process, maybe a long one, maybe a short one. We don't know,
Yeah.
but I think you keep a tight knit and keep
Definitely got to have a tight and right group.
yeah.
But a lot of people say trust the process. I can't trust something that I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So sometimes you don't even know it's a process.
Yep.
So how can I trust it? So you have to be aware. You got to be sharp. And Steph gave us a powerful thing. You got to learn to trust in God.
Yep.
That's really it's a faith walk. I'll get into that a little later, but let's get some more comments.
So Tanya comes with saying, this is why it's important to know that you have a solid foundation in a
Absolutely.
God, because going through the process, you're going to see and you're going to feel it. Everything that you're going through when you have that relationship with God. If you're not praying or asking God, God. That is this from you. Am I reading that right? Okay. Oh yeah, God's from you. Are you allowing this to happen to me?
Mhm.
It is this what I must go through? If you're not asking God those questions, why are you going through the process? That is a process that then that means you you don't have a relationship. Hold on one second. She got cut off again. But I got you over here. You don't have a relationship with God, and you don't have a strong prayer life because you will get your answer in your prayer life, and you'll get your answer from God, from God going through this process.
Yeah, thank you, Tanya. I mean, man, y'all are really on fire tonight. I'm so serious. Another great comment. Another great reality. And I appreciate all of them. And I don't have all the answers. And some of the things I'm throwing out there is really reality. It's real. People don't recognize. I never forget Mother Shirley Hopkins, powerful woman of God. She's going on to be with the Lord. And she used to say, preacher, if you could recognize your trial, you can handle it better because you can recognize it's a trial. It's the same way with process. If you can recognize that this is a process, and sometimes it's a thin line. Sometimes stuff can be presented to us, and it's not necessarily a process. It's something that the devil is trying to make change us. or move us out of the place that we are in God. And so you got to be able to discern the two of them, and find out what the lesson is and the blessing that's going to come as a result of it. Because it's definitely a blessing after the lesson.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got?
We have from cousin Keisha. She says, I go to God while I'm going through. I talk to God and say, if this is something I have to go through, give me peace about it.
And absolutely, that's a good. That is good, Keisha. And then you got to wait on God to give you the peace about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But that's the correct step and the right thing to do. All right, what else we got,
We
T?
have from Sister Marcinda. She says, the situation I've been through these last 6 months, I could have given up,
Yep,
but I went through the process
yep.
to to get a healing. You have to go through the process so you can proceed to the next level of any given situation.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, my thing is the awareness that it's a process, that it's something that I got to go through. That's my main thing. And Keisha and Tanya has given us some keys. Marcinda is spot on. Things that you go through, and I was in it with her, and still, I felt my pain. I could from her trial, I could only imagine what she was dealing with. And I was thinking this morning before my prayer time how Jesus was touched with the feelings of our infirmity, and I literally told God, I don't want to be touched with nobody's infirmities or pain, but you almost have to be in order to help them or to have the compassion necessary. But she's spot on. But at the same time, she knew it was a process, so she was able to seek God and help and hold on. Because people give up, man,
Yeah.
during the process. And I want to drive the point home.
Mm.
Don't give up, and ask God, communicate with God. As Tanya said, evaluate your relationship with the Lord, and see what all you need to do to make yourself better. I'm going through a process now of eating better. I know a lot of people say just do a crash diet. I can't. I probably could, but I'm going through a process, and I'm really proud of myself because last night I had a good dinner, early evening, and last night I got some butterfingers around here. So get anybody this
That's what
butterfinger
the
in it.
butterfingers
Yeah.
mean.
I say, get a butterfinger for you. I say, nope, I'm not going to
Yeah.
do that. Give me some water. And so,
But
but I'm
you know
going through a
what?
process.
But you know what, Bishop? I didn't. Another thing people got to understand: somebody's process. If you try to go like, you can't always do what everybody else do when they
That's
try to go
right.
through a
That's
process.
right. That's
Because
right.
again, what worked for them may not work for you. Like you said, you
Absolutely.
like talking about like the crash diet. Their diet may not good for you. So you got to find something. You got to find
Let it,
that fits you.
everybody's body is
Yes.
different,
Yes.
and in response to things differently. All right, let's go ahead.
Yep.
I want come on, let's get smarter, y'all. I need y'all to help all of us out.
So Trinity comes with a saying, talk to God.
Yep.
Ask him if this is the right path on a road for you to follow, even and especially if the process is painful or hard. And read the Bible. The Bible shows a lot of people going through a process like Moses, Joseph, and David. Okay, go ahead and speak. They were all tempted, attacked, hurt during the process, but they never gave up and trusted in God during those times. Remember, the Bible has the answer to every problem.
Man, great word, Trinity. Great word. Y'all are so on fire today, and y'all are helping me get smarter. I think about a scripture in the Bible where it say Jesus was tempted in all points of life,
Mhm.
just like us, but yet without sin. So the Bible says he's able to help us. It uses the word succor, Succor,
Mhm.
which simply means help. He's able to help them that are being tempted or that are going through whatever process we're going through. So I think we all can agree that the process is the center of the process is to talk to the Lord and see where we're going. Um, if you think about your own life, all of us, we had a certain set of friends, and I've said this before. We had a certain set of friends that we had in elementary. Some of them made it till we got to junior high, middle school. And then you grabbed a new set, and then some of them fell off. You got to high school, another set, college, the workplace, whatever. You kept getting a new set because your life was going through different phases. Some people stayed in your life, but a lot of them fell off. Like, I have very few people that I connected with in elementary that I still connect with to this day. Now, when I'm talking about elementary, I'm talking 60 plus years ago. And so, and then even in high school and college, I have, I don't have the same group that I hung out with for whatever reason. And that's a sign that my life went through phases as I was getting older. And it's the same way now. Our life go through phases and changes. We shouldn't grow bitter. We should grow better. We should not become, this get off my lawn type of old man or old woman. But we should become better. All right, let's go to
Yep.
what else we got.
Trinity comes back with saying exactly everybody is different. Their bodies are different. Their minds are
Yep,
different. God made everybody different. Different. What works for one person may not work for the other.
yep, absolutely, Trinity. Man, I'm telling you, y'all are on fire. Y'all are on fire. Great word. What else we got, T?
Got from cousin Keisha. She said, I said, I know longer ask God. So I know I longer ask God to get me out of get me out of the process because I won't get the full manifestation what God has for me. If I come out prematurely, I know
Yep,
God can deliver me while I'm in it.
yep. That is so it's so powerful, so true. People want to come out prematurely. You don't get the whole lesson. And at some point in life, that phase of it, if not the whole thing, you have to go through it again because it's something. Some things you just got to deal with, and that we have to go through.
Again, I still think that again, I'm not putting really emphasis on it, but I think a lot of people don't understand if you quit because you won't never know how like either you will never know how close to the end you are,
Right,
or you won't
right.
know you won't get all your like I said like because your manifestation, like you said your manifestation or the gifts or the goals, the prizes that you worked so hard to get. Cause you be literally right there, and that moment to quit the man. That's when something happened. It can happen to somebody else.
Absolutely. And I've learned how not to be critical of people that stumble, that fall, that even give up. Because as long as they didn't abort the assignment, they yet have an opportunity, um, to pick it up again. You postpone and not cancel.
Right.
You know what I mean by that? Sometimes we get, like I tell people often, there's mental illness and there's mental health. And it's mental health month, the day tomorrow's the last day of it.
Yeah.
But mental health is something that everyone deals with at some point in their life. You don't need medication for that. You just need uh, sometime a reset button, or you need a period of rest, what have you. But mental illness, obviously you're medicated for that. So sometimes people give up because they're in one of those mental health moments where they just break down and can't deal with the pressures of that trial. But I'm so glad when we let go of God, He don't let go of us.
Right.
We give up on Him, but He don't give up on us. And He hit the reset button in our life. All He do is like He told Jeremiah, when the vessel was marred, which simply means messed up, but it was in the hand of the potter, and he didn't throw it away. A lot of times when we mess up stuff like today, Pastor Brenda and I we went to get some fruit, and where we get the fruit at on Michigan Avenue, they have great salads. You make your own salad, and so we both were making the salad, and I took my salad dressing, and you put it in one of them little plastic cups, and I put it in the cup, and I mashed down too hard on the top, and it oozed out, and it fell on the counter, on my basket, on the floor. I was so messed up and hurt and embarrassed. and and a young man, pastor's helping wipe it up, and young man came that works there. No problem, sir. I got it. Whatever, whatever. But I took the container that it was in and I threw it away because it was marred. It was messed up. But in the Bible, when we mess up or the clay is messed up, God didn't throw it away. He took it, and the Bible says He made it again, a whole nother vessel out of the same piece of clay. That is amazing. A whole nother vessel. So if you fail the process, God can make you all over again, a brand new you, all over again. That's one of the great things, of the many great things that I love about the Lord. He doesn't give up on us. He won't throw us away because you have an assignment on your life. All right, do we have any more comments? God bless you, daughter Candace. We got any more
Nope,
comments?
that's it.
All right. Listen, I want to tell you this. When one of the things we have to do during the process, we have to make sure that we acknowledge when there's a problem, acknowledge it's a problem.
Mhm.
But someone mentioned earlier, I can't remember, it might have been Stephanie, you can't focus on the problem. And then this is real important. You cannot go to what caused the problem and look for an answer because that caused the problem. Like if it's a man, man caused the problem. What you gonna go to man for the answer for?
Okay.
You can't do that. So you gotta go to the Lord, and He'll show you which way to go, what to do. But first of all, you acknowledge there's a problem, and then let's be solution driven. Let's look for a solution. Sometimes a solution is not necessary. It's just like sometimes people talking with you or talking at you, and they want a response or or an answer from you. Sometimes it's not necessary. So it's important that we remember that. And you got to remember that sometimes a situation can change you, but don't let, I'm talking about sometimes it can just make you different,
Mhm.
but don't let it reduce you.
Mm.
Don't let what you go through make you less than you were before you went through it. It should make you better. Never allow it to make you less than. Never allow it to reduce you. Never allow people to reduce you or make you less than you were. So you may be changed by what you're dealing with, but you don't have to let that thing reduce you. And then we got to remember some of the struggles that we deal with because we're going through this process, and it can be like Job, like Terrence mentioned earlier. It can be confusing. We don't know what's going on. We don't even know it's a process. We don't even know what we're dealing with. So if I don't know what I'm dealing with, a lot of times I don't know how to deal with it because I don't know what I'm dealing with. But what we have to remember is sometimes we'll make choices, and those choices can bring struggles, and we got to learn how to realize that I'm dealing with this struggle because of the choice that I made. And then there's sometimes uh, the struggles we're dealing with them as a result of the choices we made, and then some of them they're just part of the process. So we have to remember that we cannot always control what happened to us, but we can control how we respond to what happened to us. Our attitude. We used to say back in the '80s, your attitude controls your altitude. Determines how high you're going to go in life, and definitely how high you're going to go in God. And we don't always handle everything right, but the key is this: when we don't handle something right, is to acknowledge that we didn't handle it right, and then correct what needs to be corrected if we can correct it, or if it needs to be corrected. Sometimes everything don't need to be corrected; it just need to be acknowledged. But sometimes it needs to be corrected, and we have to be very conscious of that. Um, and again, some of this, we make bad choices when we're in the process because we don't always know we're in the process.
Mhm.
But the process, as we stated, and we got some great definitions and response of the process. You got to remember, man, you got to remember this. A lot of people throw people away when they get old, but the best steak you can eat is steak that is older. God don't throw you away just because you're older, and people may devalue you because you're older, but you got to know that you still have value to God. You have the there's still something that you have to offer uh, uh, in life to saints, to your family, to your community, to your workplace. Never let anyone devalue you or make you feel less than you are. People have a way of trying to do that, especially nowadays. But when we're going through this process, a series, and I want you to hear this, of systematic steps. There's systematic steps with systematic actions. I mean, it's like baking a cake. It's baked in the cake. It was systematic for Joseph to be rejected by his brethren, to be thrown in the pit, and then to go to Egypt. All of that was systematically planned by God. Nothing good was in his process. Nothing. And sometimes nothing good to be in certain portions of our process. And that's where the confusion comes in because everything that we're going through, it seems to be bad. That's why Apostle Paul said in the 7th chapter of the book of Romans, I think around the 14th verse, when I would do good, I'm doing good, I'm trying to do my best. He said, evil is present with me. And so sometime during the process, nothing good shows up. But you got to know that according to God's word, if you love him, you're called according to his purpose. And all things going to work together for the good to them that love him, called according to his purpose. And you got to remember that process is a series of systematic steps or actions to reach a particular goal or purpose. And you got to go through these steps. You have to go through these systematic steps, these systematic actions you have to go through them to get to the goal or the purpose or the plan. It's like going to school. There's systematic steps that you have to go through to get whatever degree that you're after. So it's very important that we remember that and that we don't faint during the process. The scripture tells us in the word of God that if you faint in adversity, your strength is small. If you throw in the towel while the going is tough, the going is rough, your strength is small. So that was my final take. I still see that still. I'm just going to cut it short because I see some comments are coming in, and we're going to get your comments, um, and then we're going to go ahead and close out. So T, let's go with it.
Yep. Cousin Keisha Collins said, yes, Bishop. Yes, Bishop. Even as a child, I felt safe around older people.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So important. So important. Right people. All right.
And we got from Sister Tanya, she comes with saying people think that because of what you're going through is bad, that it came from the devil or the enemy. But it's not always the enemy that plays the part in your process. Sometimes God's allow bad people, the bad, the ugly, in order to get the good out of us.
Absolutely. It was an old saying they used to say when I first got saved, said if you never had any problems, you wouldn't know that God could solve them. If you didn't never need a way made, you'd never know he was a way maker. So and sometimes God will allow. Got to keep in mind now, Terrence, you mentioned it earlier about Job. The devil went to God to ask him, could he tempt Job? Could he try him? So just as Tanya said, sometimes God allows things to happen to make us consistently depend on him. Because if we didn't consistently depend on him, we'll get to thinking that we can do things in our own strength and our own might. All right, what do we got, T?
That's it, Frank.
That's it. Okay. All right, dear heart. So listen, the process is good. Again, I refer to the Bible. David said, it was good for me that I was afflicted. My goodness. He said, it was good for me that I was afflicted. And then he says, before I was afflicted, I went astray. So sometimes God will let us go through a process to keep us from going astray Sometimes he'll let us go through the process because we went astray. And the process will guide us back. The prodigal son, he got everything that he had and he went astray. And after he spent all, he came to himself. There's a process he had to go through even to come back. So there are processes that we have to go through. Now you gotta acknowledge it. And as Tanya said, told us earlier, if you don't recognize it's a prime, if stuff keep happening, almost like Murphy's Law, bad stuff, bad stuff, bad stuff. Then you gotta say, "Oh, pump the brakes, God, what is going on? God, there's something that I gotta go through. Is there a message that you're trying to give me with what I'm dealing with?" I mean, instead of just fighting, because you could be beaten in the air, you could be fighting the battle that's not yours. Remember, there were times in the Bible where God said, "This battle is not yours, but the Lord's." There are times in the Bible where He said, "You don't need to fight in this battle. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord." But if you don't recognize where you are in life and where you are in God, you find yourself fighting a battle that you don't necessarily have to fight. So always have an awareness to consult the Lord about what you're dealing with. All right, we get ready to wrap up. Quick, this is it. We're going to cut off at the next two comments.
We got here from Mother Wanda. She said, when I'm going through, I prayed for strength.
Yes.
Encourage myself by praise, by way through, and say, this too shall pass.
Absolutely, because it will. And praise is a powerful weapon. All right, what else we got? Thank you, Mother. That's great. We love it.
From cousin Keisha, she said, I was just about to say that because I promise God says I have you considered my servant Keisha.
Well, what a great way to close out the comments. Thank y'all so much again. It's been great. It's been fantastic. Remember the process. Remember at the top of the program, I think it was Tanya, Marcinda, Keisha was making mention that. I remember specifically Tanya. He's preparing you for something better. And remember, whatever phase of your life you're in, this is the phase. The process fits the phase. The process that you're in right now, it fits the phase of the life where you're in. And sometimes, especially now, with everything happening so fast, I mean, everything is like a blur. Everything's just happening very quick. Um, it's hard for us to stop and appreciate the success that God has brought to us already and the good that He's done to us all of our life. But stop and do that. Recognize that there is an enemy out there that don't want you to recognize that, and it's very important that you do. It's very important that you slow yourself down. Don't get caught up in the pace of the world, but slow yourself down and be able to appreciate what God is doing and what God has done, and recognize the process. And remember, you can't stop everything from coming against you, but you could control how you respond to what's coming against you. You can't, you'll never understand everything right away, but learn how to have patience and wait on God, and He will open up the eyes of your understanding. All right, God bless you again. It's been great. Thank you all so much for chiming in. As I often say, if there was no you, be no need for me. Thank you for your time. It's precious. And on that note, my time is gone. I want to remind you, somebody that's reliable could be bringing you information, and they could be reliable. But if they haven't done their homework, and it's a lie that they're bringing to you, they're no longer reliable. They are relying. Always make sure that your sources are reliable. Until next Monday, some of you I'll see you in Bible class Wednesday. Remember to go with God. God will go with you. God bless you.